Sometimes we need to work with an array of objects in a form. Here's an example. Imagine we're building a form for Udemy instructors to create a new course. Here we have a text box where they can enter all the topics they have covered in that course. For example, components, directives, templates, services, and so on. Now we can also click any of these items here and it will be deleted. So how do we implement something like this? It's very easy. Let me show you. All right, I'm going to start with a new component, new course form component. First, let's declare a field, form, and set it to a new form group, just like before. In this form group, we have an object. Now, previously, we added one or more form control objects here. For example, we had username, which was a form control, right? Now, when you're dealing with an array of objects, instead of form control, you use the FormArray class. So here I'm going to add a property called topics and set it to a new FormArray object. Now, the first parameter of the constructor of FormArray expects an abstract control array. So here we pass an empty array, and this will be the container for all the topics in this form. Okay? Now let's go back to our template. So here we have a basic form, nothing inside this form element. I'm going to add an input field with the class form-control. This is for the instructor to add a new topic. And here I'm going to handle the key up event, apply a filter. So this event is handled only when the user presses enter. And at this point, we're going to call the add topic method. Now, as an argument to this method, I want to pass a reference to this input field. So I'm going to declare a template variable. Let's call this topic and simply pass it here. Now let's implement this method in our component. So back here, add topic takes a topic. Now I'm going to apply a type annotation here because somebody reading this code, they may think topic is a JSON object that represents an actual topic, like a topic with an ID and a name property. But this is actually an HTML input element. So let's apply type annotation here, HTML input element. Now we need to get a reference to this topics property, which is a form array. Once we get this, then we can push a new value into this array. Okay? So we start with this.form.get, just like before. The name of our property is topics. Now this get method returns an abstract control object. An abstract control doesn't have the push method because it's only defined in the form array class. So if I add dot here, look, there is no push method. So we need to explicitly cast this to form array. So as form array, now let's put this in parentheses, and then dot push. Okay. Now look at the parameter of this method. It expects an abstract control. Just to refresh your memory, abstract control is the parent or the base class for form control, form group, and form array. So all these classes are essentially abstract controls, and we can use them here. Now in this application, each topic is a simple value. So I'm going to pass a form control object here. In your applications, in your form, maybe each item is a complex object. Then you would add a form group object here. Okay. So new form control. And I'm going to initialize this with the value in our input field. So topic dot, and look, this is another benefit of annotating this parameter because now we can see all the properties defined in HTML input element class. So topic dot value. Okay. Now let's import this class. Beautiful. We just have a small compilation problem on the top. So this form array is imported twice. Let's delete that. All right, we implemented the add topic method. Now let's go back to our template and write some markup to render all the topics. So back here, after this input field, I'm going to add a UL. This UL should have a class called list-group. And this is a bootstrap class that gives our list a nice look and feel. Now, inside this UL, we want to have an li with the class list-group-item. Okay. Now, let's apply the ng4 directive here. Let topic of, how do we get all the topics? We can start from the form, then get the topics property. This returns a FormArray object. And here we have a property called controls. So this way we can iterate over all the form control objects inside this array. Okay. And then here we can use interpolation to render topic, which is a form control object, dot value. All right. Let's test the application up to this point. So back here, I'm going to add components, enter. Okay, the new item is in the list, but we forgot to clear the input field. Let me add another item, directives. Okay, this is working. So now let's write code to clear the input field. Back here in the add topic method, we can set topic.value to an empty string. Okay. Now, before going any further, I see a room for refactoring. We have used this expression in two places, this.form.getTopics. So let's put this in a property so we can reuse it in multiple places. So I'm going to define a getter called topics, and here return this.form.getTopics, and then cast it as FormArray. And then we can simplify the code in this method by referencing this.topics. Much better. And similarly, we can go back to our template and simplify this expression. So topics.controls. Now finally, let's implement the remove functionality. So here on the list item, I want to handle the click event and call remove topic method. And as an argument, I'm going to pass this topic, which is a form control object. Now back in our component, let's implement this method, remove topic, takes a topic, but this topic is a form control object. Again, another benefit of using type annotations in TypeScript. So we start with our topics property, this.topics.controls. We need to find the index of this form control in this array. So dot index of topic, store the result in a variable, and then we can call this the topics.remove at and give it this index. That's all we had to do. Let's test this. So one more time, components, directives, templates, click, delete, click, delete, click, delete. So we use the FormArray class to work with an array of objects in a form.